The launch of Lightfall has come and gone, and while it did not receive the best reviews, I think that most people will agree that the Strand subclass is really fun to use. I think now is a good time to speculate on what the third and final Darkness subclass will be, but in order to make a more accurate guess, we need to look at what is currently in the game and what Bungie themselves has said. Light has the power to create things. It is always shown as the color white. The power we wield under the light is void, purple, solar, orange, and arc, light blue. On the other side of the chart we have darkness, with the power of psychological force. It has been shown as the color dark orange. The powers we control under the darkness so far include Stasis, dark blue, and Strand, green. That's what we know, so let's talk about what the next subclass won't be. Bungie said themselves that they did not want to go with the obvious route when creating the darkness subclasses.
We knew we wanted to do another darkness power in Destiny. Are we gonna do what everyone thinks we're gonna do? Are we gonna make like poison? No. We're gonna do something that you'd only find in Destiny. We're gonna go talk about this thing called Strand, and it's the web of life.
What does it mean to have a cosmic web that's connecting everything around you? How do you actually make that like an ability? How do you make that like a power? It's something that doesn't actually exist. You can't just point to fire, electricity, or ice. Coming up with the idea of the strings, the strands lighting up the world, I think that was when everything kind of started to come together.
Strand is unlike any of the powers that we've gotten before. We didn't get it from the Traveler, we didn't get it from the Pyramids. It is a power that we find is unlocked within us as Guardians.
The first and obvious one would be poison or corrosion. This element has been in the game for a long time, but it shares the color green, and Bungie already passed over it. The next one would be Siva. Siva does not make sense because it is man-made and not a psychological force. The last one would be Blight, or the power to take. This one has a chance to actually be the final subclass because there are already Blight weapons in the game. The main reason I don't think it will be Blight is the same reason Bungie passed over poison. I just think it's too obvious. Now let's look at this lovely color wheel. We have purple taken by Void, dark blue taken by Stasis, light blue taken by Arc, green taken by Strand, orange taken by Solar, and that leaves us with either red or pink. They are both similar colors, so I strongly believe the next subclass will be red. So what is a psychological force that is also red? The main contenders would have to be Haunting or Lust. Haunting is already in the game and was created by Nezarec, the final god of pain. We defeated him in Roots of Nightmare raid, and he says he's going to haunt us. So maybe we learn to use Nezarec's power. How would that look in the game though? The main power would be fearing enemies, like when you throw a grenade and all the enemies become feared and vulnerable. There are already classes that buff and debuff, but what about something that you can use on both yourself and enemies at the same time? What I mean by that is, what if you could use an ability on yourself that made you deal more damage, but also receive more damage at the same time? Also, you could apply this to enemies. It's a high risk, high reward kind of gameplay loop that I think would be really cool. Now let's talk about Lust. This is kind of a shot in the dark, no pun intended. But what is lust? Lust is a psychological force producing intense desires for something or circumstances while already having a significant amount of the desired object. Lust can take any form, such as lust for sexuality, money, or power. It is similar to but distinguished from passion, in that passion propels individuals to achieve benevolent goals whilst lust does not. How could lust be used gameplay wise? Lust can turn enemies against each other, or at least persuade them not to hurt us. It could be seen as a form of mind control, making weak enemies' eyes turn red and follow us. The main goal of the subclass would be to attract enemies towards something, to maybe make them turn on each other. That's probably too hard to do gameplay wise, but you never know. And to make them do less damage to you. You could toss a grenade that slows enemies and makes them walk towards the grenade, then it explodes. I hope you enjoyed my speculation on the final subclass, and let me know in the comments below what you think the last darkness subclass will be. And with that being said, you should get outside and touch some grass.